Hello everybody and welcome back to QuipScope, the show where we talk about a new game / old game or a game that has just come out. My name is Ben.
And my name is Peter.
Peter, you are a huge Star Wars fan.
That's right.
And releasing this week, or re-releasing I should say, is the 2005 Star Wars masterpiece, Star Wars Republic Commando. Is it a masterpiece? Did I hype that up too much?
Well, I certainly think for its time, it's thought to be, up there with one of the best, with the best Star Wars games ever released. It's much beloved and remembered fondly, and so on and so forth. I never had the pleasure. It released in 2005 for Xbox and Microsoft Windows, and here we are now in 2021. I think it came out on the 6th of April, so it's been out a few days now at time of release. Well, a couple of days at time of recording even. But it's available for PS4, Switch, and I think it's available on Xbox One as well.
Yes.
Well, I think it has been actually for a while on Xbox One. So it's had a bit of a staggered journey into modern day console gaming. But yeah, certainly it's now available for PS4 and Switch, and can be playable on your PS5 as well. So
lovely.
Exciting.
So talk me through it. What is Republic Commando? What period? I mean, I can sort of guess, but just give me the broad strokes of the sort of time period that this game covers and what genre of game it is.
Sure. The game is a first-person shooter. You play as a clone in the Republic clone army. It starts... This sort of surprised me in a way. Although I knew this was a setting in the game, I didn't necessarily expect it to be on the occasion that it is. It starts during the events of Attack of the Clones in the very first outing that the clone army has. So it's when all the Jedi gather in that arena with Count Dooku, played by Christopher Lee, and then they're all about to die at the hands of a load of droids, and suddenly Yoda arrives with a load of ships full of clones, and the first mission in the game is actually, they mention like the gladiatorial arena, and they say we need to stop the ships from taking off, which is something that is mentioned in the films as well. So it starts right at the start of the Clone Wars, and having never played the game before in its original form, I don't know exactly how far it goes, whether it just maybe goes up to episode 3, or if it goes to the end of the war with Order 66, or I have no idea. So I've played maybe 2 hours at the moment, and hopefully by the time this goes out, I'll probably have played most of it.
Right.
So it's a first-person shooter, and it's kind of squad-based and sort of semi-tactical as well. I think that's one of the things that was one of the selling points at the time for this game, and it still works pretty well today, actually. There's a lot of first-person shooter games that are good as games where you point your own gun and pull the trigger, but it's still not a given that if a first-person shooter game is released, that you will be able to order around a squad. There have been various games that have done it to varying degrees of success over the years, and this one does it reasonably well. You've got 3 other squad mates. You are Delta Squadron, and you've got 3 squad mates who have different sort of specialisms. There's like a demo expert who blows things up. There's a guy who can hack into computers, and there's a guy who is he quite likes to... Well, I think they all actually they'll take up sniping positions if you tell them to, but there's one guy I think who has a penchant for that. But there are these small kind of logos dotted around your surroundings. If there is, as I say, a point where a sniper could like set himself up, or there are like grenade throwing points where people will stand behind cover. There are terminals to hack, things to blow up. So you just hover over those with your aiming reticle and hit the X button, and you will command the relevant soldier to go and do his job over there. So as well as that, you've also got some basic commands in terms of form up, everyone get together, sort of search and destroy, clear out that area, defend this point, those sorts of things. They're assigned to your D-pad. So you do have actually a few options really for ordering your squad around. And it does, I have kind of felt that it will in some cases make or break a mission for you, or it will you will die and have to restart if you don't use your team properly. If you don't set them up on some marksman points, you're just going to get overwhelmed. You're all going to be standing around not doing a great deal and just bunched together without any cover. So it does actually work pretty well in terms of it's not just an add-on that's been bolted onto the game that you don't really even need to utilize. I think you kind of do have to play this game in that way, which is quite good, really.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
And how does it look? I know you don't really have any experience with the original, but does it look like a shiny PS2 original Xbox era game, or does it look somewhat comparable to... Well, it's not going to look comparable to like Battlefront, is it? But you know what I mean. Does it look all right?
It does look good, yeah. I'm assuming they must have up-resed it. It must be somewhat remastered because it looks HD to me. I don't have a 4K TV, so I don't know if it's available in 4K, but and presumably it wasn't when it first released. I don't know, but then it was on PC, so maybe, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say without, as you say, having played the original myself. But in any case, almost irrespective of how it was at the time, certainly nowadays, even just graphically, generally speaking, it looks okay. It looks like a good game for that kind of era. It's not... there are some games that if you brought them back and really you just kind of upscaled them in terms of resolution but didn't mess with the textures or anything, they wouldn't look good. But I think this one definitely holds up visually. There's all kinds of like nice little features, but almost immersive, I guess. You've got this immersive HUD where instead of having, kind of glowing, hovering things just in your field of view saying ammo, health, and so on, you've got a clone helmet on your head, and the clone helmet has that sort of T-shaped gap in it. It's so it's got a bit of metal at the top and 2 bits of metal down in the bottom left and bottom right when you're on the inside, and on those, that's where your HUD is sort of emblazoned.
Oh, okay.
So it feels like you're looking at something that is actually being outputted from your helmet, which is just a nice little extra immersive thing, really. I mean, there are some things that I don't like so much about this game in that, you talk about how does it kind of hold up today visually. I think from a gameplay point of view, you have to know what you're getting into here, and definitely there will always be, with games like this, there'll always be a nostalgic factor that you can tap into if you played the original version, and I'm sure fans of the old game will enjoy this purely for what it is. For someone like me who never played the old one, you do have to know or remind yourself before you boot it up what games of the era were like, because compared to modern gaming, it can feel like a bit of a grind. I don't think that for its time it was notably grindy, but for example, there are areas where you might enter a room and there's a terminal that someone needs to hack, and there are certain areas in the game where I'm pretty certain it just spawns endless enemies, like flying in through the window or coming out of a door or something. And that, if you don't realise that that's what's actually happening, that can be a bit annoying, because you can stand there just wasting all your ammo going, oh, just clear out this room before I send him over there, because that's just the safest thing to do. And then you'll realise, hang on, they just keep coming. It's not going to stop. Which is frustrating, because there are certain areas in the game where you do just enter an area and clear out the room, and that's what you're supposed to do. So it's a bit ambiguous at times whether you're supposed to be sitting here gunning down all these enemies until there are none left, or if it's just going to be an endless wave. So that's a bit frustrating, but as I say, it's about knowing what the sort of tropes of the time, I guess, the things that you have to expect from a game from the mid-noughties. So yeah.
So on the whole, is it a worthwhile experience, something worth picking up if you're a Star Wars fan, even if you didn't get this game originally?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think if you played it at the time, whether or not you were a Star Wars fan, you're going to have fun with that purely from a nostalgic point of view. If you didn't play it at the time, you, I think, will only get something out of this as a Star Wars fan. So as we're recording this QuipScope right now, we've also just recorded our podcast, and this is something I've said on the podcast that's coming out this weekend, but to just go over that again, there's interesting stuff here in relation to like the canon and the lore and stuff. this game is non-canon now in terms of modern day Star Wars, so there are things there that I'm sure don't line up with what you expect. But there are also some strange things. For example, you're a squad of clones, or indeed an army of clones, but within your squad and the wider army, people have different voices, which is really weird because they're all supposed to sound like Tamara Morrison. Did I say that right? Tamara? But, he voices your protagonist, your player character, and then all the others are voiced by different people, which is very weird.
That is strange.
I don't know if they've maybe timed the re-release of this game to kind of coincide with the upcoming animation on Disney Plus, The Bad Batch, because that is about a squad of clones that are all actually a little bit different, and they've got different voices and they've got different specialisms. So it's almost, this is kind of like a Bad Batch game, but it's non-canon, and it's not the Bad Batch, but it's a similar sort of thing. So I wonder if that was done intentionally, and that, that's no bad thing. So if you're looking forward to the Bad Batch, even, this might be something that's just gonna get you in the mood for that. So yeah, if you're a fan of Star Wars, whether or not you played it at the time, give it a go. And I think if you played it at the time, whether or not you were a fan of Star Wars back then, probably still give it a go again and pick it back up and enjoy it from a nostalgic point of view. So there's something for most people in this game.
Excellent. Well, it's available right now. You can go and play it and buy it. We've just got enough time, Peter. Star Wars Republic Commando, more like Star Wars Republic Command, go and get it, because it's available right now to play and purchase.
Whoa, hang on. Jeez. Can't keep up with this. Star Wars Republic Commando, more like Star Wars Republic Command. Whoa, this game is quite good.
That's good. That was a good one.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't think I can follow it up.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to leave it there then, I suppose.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.
Bye.